What's really, really important is the keep it simple, stupid model, right? Especially if you're getting into shooting real estate videos,
Yeah.
just keep it as simple as possible. Come up with 4 different types of content, 4 different
Mm,
things
mhm.
that are going to reach the audience. Number one,
Okay.
define your audience, who you're talking to, and figure out what they're looking for. And then keep it simple.
I love that, man. Okay, so let's get a little bit into that. So let's break it down. All right. Well, welcome to a new episode of Real Estate vs. Technology. I'm your host, Norman Kinsey. Super excited for today's podcast episode. As we are going to be changing things up, 387 episodes later, we got to a point where, like, you know what? Let's do another podcast. So that's coming here very soon, called the Liftoff Experience Podcast. And this one, we want to go deeper in the thought process of real estate versus technology and how individuals are utilizing technology to grow, scale, and automate their business. There's so many different roads you can go down. So like, subscribe. Big thanks to Liftoff Agent for sponsoring the show. And we want to bring someone in. I think he's the most fitting person in the industry to talk tech. He's out there serving his heart, serving, supporting the community, and just because. So let's go ahead and bring the one and only Jeremy Knight in to Real Estate vs. Technology Unleashed. Welcome to the show, man.
Hey, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Of course, of course. So we actually formally haven't had an opportunity to meet, and that's what I love too. Sometimes, just whether it's an event or a podcast episode, I think this is a little more intimate than an event because there's so much going on. This is really cool to have an opportunity to pick your brain, have you on the show, get intimate in that sense, but then also be able to get into the technology that you're using. So before we get into tech and what you're using and go back and forth on that to help our viewers and listeners, let's talk a little bit about why the heck real estate, man? All the careers, all the opportunities. How did you stumble upon this crazy world that we call real estate?
Yeah. So, going back about 12 years or so, I graduated college. As soon as I graduated college, I'd been working at Costco. And Costco was like, hey, you graduated college. Why don't we promote you? And then they promoted me and promoted me and promoted me. And so I
Mm,
was running sales teams for Costco. And so,
really?
yeah, so I was running sales teams and I was implementing new products and things like that. And, with where I was at Costco, like there was no like, get to the next step. If you do
Hmm.
this extra and sell this extra, you're getting this. Well,
Yeah.
it was, you have to sell this extra, you have to do this extra, but there was no bonus structure for going past that. And so I'd
Interesting.
launched a product I didn't launch the product, but they had a new product that they launched out and that they wanted, like a 40% capture rate on. And we were running about 29% capture rate on this, but
Hmm.
no other building, no other area was even getting close to where we were with the 29%.
Yeah.
And on top of that, we were selling drastically more. And so we're talking, I put to the bottom line each month about another 80 to $120,000 that they were not making at all. And
Wow.
so when they kept hitting me with you're not at 40%, I said, you guys are not paying attention to what is important here. And so I was going through fighting with them, showing them how they were just being idiotic. This made up 40%.
Yeah.
And I realized, I go, wait a second, if I get to 40%, how much more are you going to pay me? And they're like, well, we're not. I'm like, well, I'm making you another 1.4, $1.5 million a year.
Yeah.
What are you paying me extra a year? And they're like, well, we'll promote you again. I'm like, all right, this is it. So I kind of had enough of running for other businesses for other people. I started looking around what industry I could, be my own boss. And if it was going to fail, it was on me, right? And not
Yeah.
if it was going to be successful, it was on me. So that's why I looked into real estate. And my degree, believe it or not, is actually from Arizona State in geography, which
Okay.
is a whole nother story. I was in the aviation program, and ASU kind of pulled a fast one on me, and I just wanted to graduate fast after that point. So it was the fastest degree I could get to leave. But I was always into spatial things and building maps and things like that. And actually, I really did enjoy geography, more of a GIS. So
Hmm. Hmm.
building mapping and things like that. So basically, out of college, I got offered jobs to build mapping and things for the city and for neighborhoods. And so it
Wow.
always been on my radar. And so, yeah, that's how I got into real estate.
That's interesting that you Costco. I have a Costco story too. I actually used to work at Costco. I didn't get as high as you did, so I don't know, what would be better, get out sooner or later. But for me, I worked at Costco. I was just a seasonal position, and I had a buddy of mine, Kai, and I would always go back and forth and try to challenge each other. And unfortunately, people didn't like when you ask questions, how things worked, why things
Yeah,
worked, what have you. The traditional corporate model, right? Just keep your mouth
right,
shut, keep your head down to the grindstone, and just keep it moving. But I love your thought process of like asking the question as far as if this then that what's going to happen here. I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of corporations don't do that, and they expect their employees just to just follow this process and just is what it is. And it's like, well, if I'm helping you, I mean, shouldn't this be a mutual beneficial relationship? Shouldn't we
right.
both help each other?
Well, and as what was funny is like there was no scripts. There was like, here's the product, sell
Yeah.
it. Well,
Interesting.
okay, how do you sell this product? And so why we were drastically higher, number one, we had higher sales volume, but we had a very high capture rate for that. And it was because I was actually working with our sales staff on
Mm,
scripting, something they didn't even think about. So
wow.
yeah,
Wow, interesting. Yeah, one of the things for the sponsor side for Liftoff Agents that we do is profit sharing for on a quarterly basis for our team and staff, doing referral partnership programs. That's why I love the way that Real does what they do with the profit sharing and what have you. I'm actually an investor with Real as well,
great.
on the U.S. stock exchanges. I just see the potential and the opportunities where EXP was, and now y'all are a new force to be reckoned with. So I'm excited to see the growth of where you guys go, what happens, and it makes a lot of sense why you like to give, serve, support, and do what you do with the content. Because at the end of the day, that's your legacy. That's what people are going to remember you about. It doesn't matter about the bottom line or the money per se. It speaks for itself. And like that pendulum swing, right? What you put out is it's going to come right back, which is awesome, man. I love that.
Yeah, thank you.
So now you're in real estate. It sounds like 12 years now.
Yeah, about 11, 12 years.
11, 12 years. Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. So as you've been growing and going through the process of being in real estate, from traditional brokerages, to now seeing where we're at the cloud-based technology brokerages, what brokerage did you start off with, and how did you get then tied into Real Broker?
Yeah, so I initially started off with Keller Williams, and I think anybody that's starting off in any industry, you got to go where you're going to have the fastest takeoff, especially in
Mm,
an industry like real estate. The biggest problem, in fact, I shot a whole video about this today. The biggest problem with the most real estate agents is wherever, doesn't matter where you came from, if you're a teacher, if you're a sales guy at Costco, if you're wherever. Number one, it is so hard to learn how to run a business, and I think that's
mm,
where I had a leg up, is I was already running sales teams and managing
yeah,
sales teams, so I kind of understood that. So I needed to go where I would get the best training and be around people selling, and so that was Keller Williams is a great opportunity for me back then.
yeah,
And you were talking about asking questions. 14 months in, I capped twice, which means I had paid them their full amount that I could pay into them, and I
yeah.
was
Congrats.
100% after that. In 14 months, I paid twice, so we're talking like 50ish grand.
Yeah,
And I'm like, hey, I've just paid you guys a ton of money. What do I get extra now? Like and I became the guy that all the new people, they go talk to Jeremy. He's up for rookie of the year. Go talk to
yeah.
Jeremy. And I'm like, wait a second. It became the whole same thing I just left. Like
Mm,
literally, I said to my wife, I'm having deja vu, right?
mm.
So we went to, I was approached by EXP. Took me a couple months to move to EXP. Biggest mistake I made was not moving to EXP faster.
Interesting.
Really, really great opportunity there. Really great brokerage. I was number 550 in the company, so very, very early adopter in EXP. And when we got to about 25,000 agents, I just realized it wasn't for me anymore. Uh,
Got it.
just the differences of growth and the differences of mindset. So when I saw the real broker model, I looked at it and I literally turned to my wife. I was pitched real broker on a Tuesday. And I turned to my wife. I go, the last time I said this is a no brainer, we became millionaires. And she's
Interesting.
like, she goes, yeah. And we left for Real. That was Tuesday. By Friday, we were at Real. We left hundreds of
Wow.
thousands of dollars on the table to leave EXP because we had been part of their Icon Award, which means you get stock more and more
Yeah.
stock for hitting a production award. And
Hmm.
we jumped ship and joined Real, and it has been a rocket ship as well. And I couldn't be
Wow.
happier to be what we're doing. And throughout that whole time, that's a very short story. But in that whole time, we still sold a lot of real estate. We still
Mhm.
helped agents. We got
Mhm.
closer into the community and really gave back to the real estate community. And that's what I love most about what we're doing now. Yeah, I get to sell real estate and help buyers and sellers, but on
Yeah.
top of that, like we spend a lot of time helping agents. And so,
Yeah.
I find a lot of joy in giving back.
Yeah, 100%. I love that. I think for the viewers and listeners out there, one case in point that comes up for me from what you just said is look at the writing at the wall. If you see something repeating itself, like they say, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different outcome. It's like look at what's happening, and if it's like you're seeing it over and over at Costco, then over here at Keller Williams, it's just like okay, something has to change, and you made that change, and now you obviously now are getting what you deserve because you made the change. You saw the writing on the wall. And it's amazing how, and I see a lot of people doing this with the EXP model. And then they're moving over to Real. They're leaving a lot of either the downline money on the table, but they're seeing this other potential. And congrats, man. Glad that things worked out for you. And your wife's a big supporter. My wife's a big supporter too. Got to have that. Everyone
Yeah.
out there, make sure your partner's a supporter because that helps a lot.
Well, I mean, it helps that my wife sells more real estate than I do. So that also
Okay.
helps.
So you guys are both in the industry together? Because that was my next point to go into a
Yeah.
little bit more of like, your thought process for individuals out there as we start to transition into technology talk. What are your thought process in regards to so you and your wife are working together, so she does more of the real estate sales. It seems like you do more of like the tech, the training, what have you.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts about being in production versus getting out of production and building that kind of downline? Because you see individuals that are
Yeah.
doing this, and I look at it personally. I'm not going to drop any names in the EXP world where it was fine at the beginning. That's totally fine. You just got out of the business, so it's fresh in your mind as far as what worked, what didn't work, what have you. And then over time, it's kind of like, well, you're not in production anymore. So for me, it's like you're kind of like beating over this dead horse, and it's like you were there, but you're not. What's your take on it?
Yeah. Look, everybody's going to do it differently and everybody's going to do what's best for them and their business. I mean,
Yeah,
being a real estate quote unquote coach or somebody that just does more attraction based model,
yeah,
you do, if you are pulling out of production, I feel like you do miss a little bit of what agents are actually going through, and so you miss some of that understanding. Look at the NAR lawsuit. The people making the biggest decisions for real estate agents probably haven't touched a real estate transaction or have never touched a real estate transaction in a long time.
yeah.
So you have people making industry wide changes and have
Mm,
no idea what they're doing. So I think it can be a challenge. Look, everybody provides value. And if you're not in real estate yet, you're providing a ton of value for the people that are in real estate. I mean, more power to you. But I think you do lose. I mean, there's big coaching. Let's stay away from brokerages, but there's big coaching programs out there that
yes.
don't sell real estate. You have like, Sharon Shavat's the president of Real.
Yeah,
Sharon is talking about how, hey, last week I was at a listing appointment. I went with a listing appointment for somebody on our team. Like, you actually have a president who's in production and actually helping agents by actually being there. So I think it's
I love
important,
that.
because you're not going to go anywhere if the leader isn't, tuned to know what's happening. So look, there's so many ways to do this business. I don't want to knock anybody for leaving
For
production,
sure.
but I think you do lose a little bit of that je ne sais quoi if you aren't in production.
Very well spoken. I love that. I was actually with Sharon at the with Neil Holmes in Vegas
Yeah,
at the Ford event. So he's been on the podcast as well. So shout out Sharon if you want to see his podcast. I'm more than welcome to check it out. I'll have a team and staff put that in the commentary down below. Let's transition a little bit into the technology talk and
yeah,
conversation. So you're leveraging a lot of various different things, but the one thing that sticks out to me, and you have it here as far as a relocation expert, 16,000 subscribers on YouTube, and we're starting to see this a lot for our sponsor of the show, Liftoff Agent. We have some large clients on that side, everything from the Wolf Pack and different people like I don't know if you know who Adam Hancock is or Levi Lassick living in Dallas,
yeah,
Texas. Those are just some of the individuals underneath the Liftoff Agent brand that we serve and support. So becoming a relocation expert, getting onto YouTube, passively prospecting, when did that come about for you? And how have you leveraged that to be able to leverage your past efforts for your future successes? Have people be able to build a know, like, and trust, and you become a celebrity, if you will, in these individuals' eyes. So then they look at you as someone that they already know, like, and trust and want to work with instead of, you got a lot of these people buying leads, which I think are kind of going away because you still have to build the know, the like, the
Yeah.
trust. If you don't have a social presence, then who are you in the first place? And these people aren't even going to do that anyways. A lot of these leads are just dead. You're trying to do whatever you can with them. But let's go a little bit into YouTube. When you get started, why did you take that approach, and how's it worked out for you? For any of the viewers and listeners out there that are curious about maybe getting into YouTube and going down that path.
Yeah. So thank you for the nice accolades there and admiration. Look, YouTube is a beast of an animal to get into. I don't want to sugarcoat YouTube at all. I think if you're going to get into any type of lead generation,
Yeah.
you absolutely have to dive all in. If you don't, it's not going to work and you're going to go,
Mhm,
why isn't it working? What
mhm.
got me into YouTube is starting back in my Keller Williams days, I was cold calling, right? I was doing cold calls all week and then doing open houses all weekend.
Wow.
So if I were to call you and you had a house on the market that came off the market, you're probably not going to be happy with me. And in that first millisecond we're on the phone, I have to immediately start building trust with you. When people walk in an open house, you have to immediately start building trust. So you have
Mm,
to be on your game with scripts.
yeah.
The challenge you find is when people don't know you, you have to build trust. And what better way to build trust than go, oh, if you're at an open house, I actually have a really cool video that I did about this house or that I did about the area. Let me actually
Mm,
share that with you. And then they can walk out of that open house and, maybe, they give you your phone number or whatever.
yeah.
I would always text them my YouTube channel, like, "Oh, here, let me text you my YouTube channel." Now I have their
Super
number,
convenient.
right? Right. So that's how I actually started with my YouTube. I would just shoot videos about real estate and send them out. Now, I was doing YouTube wrong for a very long time, and
Okay.
so it took a couple years to figure out what I needed to do correctly, and then that's where
Mm,
things took off drastically.
mm,
So at the end of 2019, I had been looking at what I was doing right and what I was doing wrong. And I had chatted with a good friend of mine, Christina Smallhorn. This is right at the end of 2019, literally December 2019. And I said,
mm.
what am I doing wrong? She goes, well, you don't have a plan. You're throwing spaghetti against the wall. And who the hell are you even talking to?
Ah.
And I go, okay, well, here's who I want to talk to. I want to talk to that 24 to 50, maybe let's bring it down 24 to 45, right? That
Mhm,
middle range,
mhm.
getting ready to start a family, maybe in that family that is looking to upgrade, right? They're
Yeah.
either moving and they're selling a home, whatever it is. Those are the people I want to talk to. So now I had a plan. All right, what do these people want to hear? What are they looking for? And so I sort of could tell my channel based on what people actually wanted to hear. And, within 2 or 3 months, I
Mhm.
started seeing more subscribers and more
Awesome.
subscribers. I remember I was on a beach trip with a friend. I was like, look at this, 751 subscribers, refresh, 800 subscribers. Oh, that
Wow.
was quick. Refresh, 900 subscribers. What the heck? Boom. I just had 1,000 subscribers in the 2 hours we've been sitting here. What happened?
Let's
It was
go.
one video that went off.
Yeah.
And so the what happened from there has been utter magic, right? I
Mm.
have more agents send me referrals than I
Mhm,
could even imagine, and I don't even
mhm,
know these agents for the most part.
mhm.
They know me. I get phone calls on a daily basis, emails on a daily basis from buyers or sellers wanting to reach out because they want to work with me. So there are times where I'll have somebody say, "Hey, Jeremy, I'm interviewing agents," and I go, "You're interviewing agents. How many agents are you interviewing?" "Oh, I'm going to interview three." "Why do you need to interview three?" "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay,
Mm.
look, if you're going to go ahead and interview other agents, I highly recommend you just work with those agents."
Yeah.
"What? You don't want to work with me?" Look, if I haven't done my job in building trust with you with all of these hours of YouTube videos, I think you might be better served with somebody else. And I will literally tell people to go work with other people.
I love
Now,
that.
that's counterintuitive to what we've been told for real estate, but I
Yeah.
guarantee you the clients that I work with make my life so much easier because they've already listened. They understand that I already have their best interest at heart, and there's no better way to do that than long form content. I know
Yeah.
people do crush it on Instagram. I know people crush it on TikTok. They want to work with the celebrity person they see on these platforms. But when people call you, "Hey, Jeremy, it's 9 o'clock at night. I've been sitting in my living room watching you on TV for the last three
Mhm.
hours. I have to work with you." It's a much different experience.
I love that. 2 points here for the viewers and listeners. Point 1, Segment intending and being intentional is a thing, and I think that's missed in so many different regards because when you speak with a real estate professional, I'm 10 years in now, met well over 17,000 agents, served 6,000 plus. We have almost 250 agents on the support side for Liftoff that sponsors the show, and it's so interesting how individuals think that like, oh, I work with anyone, everywhere, it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. Any business I can take, I'll just take it. And it's like when you slow down and you segment intent and you niche down on a specific target demographic, like you said and did with your YouTube channel, you can have so much more success with that. And when I was at the Ford event, I just got done with so I started YouTube 2014. A lot of bad videos as well, just like
Yeah.
you. And I filmed everything for 2+ years. My wife's birth, or my proposal, the birth, the wedding, all types of stuff. And I would edit Monday through Friday. And Sunday, I would basically put out a new video every single week. You know the hell I was doing. The videos are, and I'm not famous. I'll tell you that much. But it was a learning experience. And so now on the Liftoff agent side, we just got done with our 105th video past 6 months. And someone went up to me in an event and said, I love your content, love what you're doing, and keep it up. I watch you every week. And no comment, no nothing, and not even someone maybe I'll work with, but who cares? It's just the point that I'm doing something to serve and support and give back. And it works, which is really, really cool. And I love the last point I want to make is that people want what they can't have. I think viewers and listeners out there to understand, like when you say like, it's okay, go interview those other agents. I don't think I'm going to be a good fit. If you don't see the value proposition already, then it's totally fine. And then they're probably like, oh, no, Jeremy, you're the guy. I want to work with you now because of that situation. So let's talk a little bit about the YouTube channel. So you're talking 16,000 subscribers, 837 videos, and this is the kicker: 2.8 million views. So subscribers don't always mean or equivalent, because like what is it, like 80-90% don't even subscribe to your channel. So you
Yeah.
can get a lot more viewership than the actual subscribership. But the people that do subscribe are the ones that are probably helping the algorithm. They watch every single one of your videos, and then it starts to build that up from the basis, right? So let's talk a little bit about like what is your approach very specifically for our viewers and listeners so they can understand what are you doing that's working, and what would be some very specific action steps for them to take as far as like 1, 2, 3 getting YouTube started
Yeah.
today.
So I would break it up into four categories. So if you're going to build a YouTube channel, break it into four categories. Have your high funnel uh, bucket, right? Where it's just, this is just a video I want for views. It's not going to sell.
Got it.
It's not going to get me business. It's going to
Okay.
get in new viewers. Okay. And then you got to have your mid funnel stuff. That's going to be two other videos about what people are actually looking for. And then your bottom of funnel.
Got it.
Your top of funnel stuff is going to be maybe like a market update video, right? A
Okay.
little bit broader. I'm talking about maybe the market in general. I'm talking about generalities. Austin's doing this, but here's the bigger. So that's going to be a bigger play video, or
Okay.
maybe something more trendy of what's happening right now.
Okay.
Your middle of funnel is going to be what's happening in these specific areas. Why are people being in specific areas? And then I just did a very bottom of funnel video today, and I can tell
Okay.
you the bottom of the funnel videos work. Uh, uh, one of my bottom of the funnel videos is about just luxury real estate. I know it's
Mm.
not going to be banger videos every time. People
Mm-hmm.
don't want to see property tours. In fact, I should probably not even do property tours on my channel, but
Yeah.
I enjoy doing those videos. So I'm going to do them for me. But I did a video today. A video is not done very well. Don't care. It was a video talking about how to find good deals on new construction. And I actually
Mm.
went through and I showed in my email all the emails I get and then
Mm-hmm.
how we would maybe negotiate more on some of these deals.
Mm-hmm.
Within an hour of that video going live, I had 4 emails from people. My wife is literally out the door to go meet with one right now, and we have
Wow.
3 more appointments set.
Boom. That's huge. That's a huge case study, and I like those 4 different verticals and how to go down the funnel: top, middle, bottom. Technically 3. I like that a lot. So then, if someone's going to film on YouTube, from your YouTube channel, your perspective, you're in your studio right now. So it
Yeah.
seems like what 70-80% of your content would be just filming, point, shoot where you're currently located, and then the editing. Does it need to be fancy for anyone out there, or can they just basically start off with just getting content out there?
Yeah. So I think what's really, really important is the keep it simple, stupid model, right? Especially if you're getting into shooting real estate videos.
Yeah.
Just keep it as simple as possible. Come up with 4 different types of content, 4 different
Mm,
things
mhm,
that are going to reach the audience. Number one,
okay.
define your audience, who you're talking to, and figure out what they're looking for. And then keep it simple. I've encouraged agents recently. So I do a lot of, training with agents and helping
Yeah.
agents. I've encouraged agents to literally just film themselves walking through homes and then showing maybe a restaurant or something close by, talking about the neighborhood, talking about why people want to be there, and then have you just talking to a camera, walking through, and then get B-roll and over don't over edit it.
Got it.
Because the reality is, if you've edited videos yourself, you can attest this 8-minute video is at minimum taking me 8 to 10 hours to edit when I'm doing it myself.
Yeah.
So if you have 3 or 4 different camera angles, you can use 3 or 4 different topics or things you're going to make points on, and then just walk around and get the video, and then you can overlay it. It'll
Mhm,
save you so much time and energy
mhm.
until you can actually start the next process. So many agents tell me, "Oh, Jeremy, what camera should I buy? How much money should I be spending? And how much does a video editor cost?" And keep it simple.
Keep it simple. Yeah,
Keep it simple. This
100%,
this
and
thing right here will do more for you and be the best money maker. Number one, you should be using it to call clients, but number two, you can use this little thing on the other side and shoot video.
dude, 100%. I love the Logitech camera, easy peasy webcam,
Yeah.
goes up to 4K. I love loom.com. You could share your
Boom.
screen and yourself. Boom,
Yeah.
done. No big deal. And yeah, you can go on to, I want to say like video editors for long form could be, depending on how long they are, could be 20, 30, 40, $50. This depends on like the quality of editor. And then you can go on Upwork and find the person. But the hiring and the firing and the delegate, it's just a freaking, and that's where, like you said earlier, it's like focus on what you want as far as the outcome, the demographic from the YouTube channel. And that's the same thing. If it's like keep it simple, stupid for anyone out there listening, if you overproduce and you're taking away from the thought process and the vibration and the
Yeah.
mindset of what you want, because you're getting so caught up in the weeds of the things of like what you think you need to get what you want, which you don't even need that. It's like keep it super just easy peasy. So then okay, so that's more on the YouTube side. Now, how do you integrate? What's your approach? We'll just focus on Instagram. So
Yeah.
are you telling people like, hey, I have a YouTube video, or are you just posting just separately different content on Insta? Like, how are you approaching that?
Yeah, my Instagram is completely totally different. In fact, if you go to my Instagram, you probably wouldn't even know I had a YouTube channel.
Besides it says that, yeah.
Yeah, and so my Instagram's, because look, you're 2 different frames of mindset here, right? Instagram is more short hit. Honestly, Instagram is all for marketing.
Hmm. Hmm.
YouTube is all for information. So my mindset
Right.
on YouTube is I'm giving people information. My mindset for Instagram is I'm using a lot of that informational marketing.
I
Right.
love it.
So what I'll do is, and this is, YouTube has now kind of leaned into the short content. So I'll mix some of that content together. But
Mm,
reality is I just like to create really good, like, hey, here's 5 companies moving to Austin right now. What do you think? Are they going to bring more jobs? They're going to bring these amount of jobs. And so it's a little bit more informational about Austin. So we'll mix and match. Some of that will go on YouTube, some of it won't go on YouTube.
I love
I
it.
do on my Instagram, I do talk to agents as well because I do a Friday mastermind call. And on the Friday
Hmm.
mastermind call, we talk about different topics. I bring in different guests. So, a lot of times I'll put out a video like, hey, this week we're going to be having this guest. We're going to cover these topics. It might be good
Yeah.
for you. Or, hey, agents, I did this video. I think it might hit for you if you try this video. I mean, look, a lot of times I give agents like these videos have been hitting, go do these videos. Copy me and
Yeah.
go do these videos.
Yeah.
So,
Dude, I love that 100%. I definitely think that's super powerful. One thing we've been messing around with is like, and it's funny too. I almost feel like Instagram, they don't like it. So, like, if you're not posting something specifically natively for, say, Reels, for example, right, or
yeah,
Head Talk content, they don't like it. So, what we did was remix the video. So, we'll do like the long form, remix the video, put it
yeah,
onto Instagram, use mini chat, type in a word, drive traffic over to YouTube. It's
yeah,
been all right. I mean, you're talking 1 to 5%, if you're lucky, 5% as far as click through rate. A lot of times people don't even waste their time. And luckily, we have a large team, so I can be able to leverage that and what have you. And then all the content just one day a week, and then they just take it, put it on massive.com, and it's taken care of. But I love how you're doing it separately. So that way you can be able to just make it so marketing is going to be more for Instagram for viewers and listeners out there. And if you want to be able to educate the market, then you're going to be utilizing YouTube for that process. That's definitely a good note to take there. I know we're getting closer to the end of the show as we bookmark 30 minutes. I want to be respectful for your time. What's something right now, as we have a couple minutes left here, what's some different things that you would say like that's working right now specifically that someone can take? Because YouTube, I want to say 3 to 6 months. I know Instagram, you could potentially have more instant gratification, but what is something that someone could do? I mean, I guess pick up the calls. I mean, what's something that they could do now to like
So
get some business going?
so there's two people I think that if you're gonna follow and emulate, I think that would really help. Number one on YouTube, Raj Sahu. He is
Okay.
doing just property walkthrough videos, and
Yeah,
he's not even he's never once been on camera, and he's just doing voiceovers.
I heard about
He
him.
is crushing it with that. The other way to do that on Instagram would be following a Ksenia. Now, Ksenia, she's out of Tampa Bay. She just goes, "This is what $480,000 gets you in this area of Tampa Bay," or yeah, Tampa Bay. She's in that area, and then
Got
she
it.
literally just walks through and then does a voiceover of the video. You
Mm,
want to get business quick? You do those two. The other guy that I'd recommend who does this on TikTok would be Roland Osage. So
I
if you
love that.
follow those people and you want to get business quick, 100%, I would do that model. If I had to switch right now and change all my content, I would be doing that.
That's huge. Yeah, Christopher Long, he's starting to follow his model. He's with us on the sponsor side for Liftoff Agent and then the Faceless in Texas. And actually, the builder reached out to him and said, "Hey, we want to pay you for what you're doing. We love your videos." So
Yeah,
it's
correct.
amazing opportunities and things you could do. So wrapping up the show here, first and foremost, Jeremy, I want to really appreciate your time. It's been amazing. Is there one last piece or nugget you want to leave with our viewers and listeners as we close out the show here today?
Just do it. Don't listen to what other people are saying. If you think it's going to hit, just do it. And then look, my best videos are the videos that don't get the best views. So stop worrying about views. Just worry about hitting the people that you want to work with.
100%. I love that. Hey, first and foremost, follow Jeremy. Check him out. Check him on his Instagram. Check out his YouTube channel. See what he's doing, liking, following, connecting, watching some videos. I definitely think you could rip off and repeat. I don't know.
Yeah, do
I
it.
know you give out great content, and I like to help and serve the community just as a whole. So thanks for your time today. And like I said, it's our intention to serve our community here. And so yeah. So thanks so much for your time today. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Of course. And thanks to our viewers and listeners, as it is our intention to take things for episode, apply to your business, have more massive success. Thanks, Liftoff Agent, for sponsoring the show. We'll see you all on the next one.